Yesterday, strawberry cheesecake, and it's the 16, 18, 20% fat. You don't have to eat much and you have to exercise a lot. One of the things is that's been very popular. We had eggnog and custard. How the recession impact us? We were up 27% in sales. Why? Comfort food. And we put a little moonshine in it too. But no, I'm just joking. It's real interesting. Folks, one of the things as you start looking at the outlook, your business environment's constantly changing. And some of the different trends out there are impacting you. And about 4 years ago now, Walmart came knocking on our door. You know why? We were in the crosshairs of Walmart. You know why? Because they wanted to go organic, natural, and local. So we fit their business model. They knocked on our door. And they said, how would you like to supply milk? But here's what they wanted us to do. They wanted us to go from glass back to plastic. And we've got people hooked on glass. You ever had milk in glass, beer in glass, old Coca-Cola in glass, down south, old Dr. Pepper with peanut M&Ms that'll really get you going, okay? Everything tastes better in glass. And we weren't willing to compromise. The other reason we turned Walmart down, nothing against Walmart, okay? We'd have had to increase our business 4 times. 1, we didn't have the financials, and number 2, we didn't have the management system in place. Oh, it would have really stroked our ego. Growth is addictive. And one of the things is it would have stroked our ego, but we'd have been in for a crash. So, we went through depression as a business and management team for about 4 months. Our CFO comes up and he says, how about we think about home delivery? Well, here we are. We are now into home delivery. We have 1,400 customers. Typical customer, the metric that we like is $20 a week, 10 on milk-related products, the other 10 locally grown beef, locally grown vegetables. Oh, you know what we just did? I was going through the airport yesterday, one of the security guards was talking about it. We decided to offer fresh organic vegetables this year, okay? In other words, they can contract with us. We thought 100 people would sign up, 800 people signed up, okay? And one of the things is we offer locally grown eggs. We don't have any chickens on our farm, so you know what we did? Commissioned a bunch of old hippies up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And these people did inhale, if you know what I'm talking about. They're over in Madison, if you guys can get a humor, okay, alrighty? And one of the things is they provide us with eggs, the customers are happy. God only knows what they're in there, but we kind of hit it there. I give you that long story for an introduction because, folks, same things I'm going to be talking to you today, we're going to be talking about in the board meeting Thursday night. And one of the things that I'm going to do here today is take you up 100,000 feet. We're going to look at the big picture of agriculture, the general economy, and the global economy. And then you know what I'm going to do constantly? I'm going to be interspersing little management techniques, okay, as you go throughout it. And so that's what we got for the next hour, hour and 5 minutes. Let's rock and roll. And let me go through some of the slides that we're talking about. Now, I'm going to get real serious right up front. And here's one of the things that I'm going to be serious about. And I was in California this weekend, San Diego, doing a Family Business Institute. And I was very, very blunt with them. I think the United States economy is at an inflection point. What am I talking about, an inflection point? Remember the late 70s, early 1980s when Japan was going to take us over? What did we do? We got our backs against the wall, about like the dean said. We reinvented ourselves and we popped back up as the world's leading economy. Folks, we're either going to go that way this time, or we're going to kind of move off over into a European-style economy. European-style economy, nothing wrong with it, but it's not going to be a world leader. She's probably going to come with more controls, more regulation. We're right at the inflection point. I don't know which way it's going to go. But in the meantime, Asia is going to flex its muscle, particularly through China, both in the short run and in the long run. And you're going to have to think about that as you develop your business models as we go through this second decade. Now, with that all being said, we're coming into an extended period of economic moderation. But here's what you're going to have to manage as business people in this audience. You're going to have to manage volatility. Now, your moms and dads and grandpas and grandmas had to manage volatility. But in this case, it's going to be volatility at the extreme. And with the extreme volatility, you know what this is going to create? To all my younger people in here, you're going to see more business opportunity in the next 10 years than you've seen in the past 30 years. There's going to be more opportunity, but there's also going to be more opportunity where you're going to be in the big leagues, okay? And one of the things is there's going to be more opportunity for failure too. And every business decision that you make in your business, you've got to run by your what? Business, your family, and your personal goals. Guys like myself used to run around the country saying you got to operate a business as a business. Yeah, you do. But if you don't balance it with a lifestyle, one of the things you'll be out of business. Traditionally, the traditional farmer oftentimes operated the business as a lifestyle without business connotations. One of the things is you've got to operate a business with lifestyle connotations, and one of the things that's going to be a key as we go down that field is going to be balance, balance, balance type of approach. Now, one of the things is that volatility is going to try to take you out of balance. I think there's going to be 5 key words in your vocabulary, okay? And can I look at you? A lot of you are grain farmers here. Here's one of the things that I would like to say. Look at 2014, 2013, and wonder if you're like the livestock farmers. Okay? Have you built your financial fortress? First thing that's going to be very important is cash, 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 cash. And one of the things that I would just tell you is cash and working capital. That second key word in your vocabulary is going to be very critical when you're dealing with a lender. Matter of fact, there's a metric that I really like to look for. Working capital to revenue. For grain producers, you know what the average is on our farm record systems around the United States? 44%. Up from 21%. But one of the things is I'd like to see at least 30 to 40% working capital revenue. You know what that is? That is your financial shock absorber. And don't get too cushy there, because people had 40, 50% working capital revenue a few years ago, or last year, when corn went from $7 a bushel to $3 a bushel. That working capital was what? Taken off the balance sheet. But it wasn't for the people that had what? A good solid risk management program. Hope you all heard that. These risk management programs are not only in there to protect your what? Your profits, but they're in there to protect your what? Liquidity on the balance sheet, but also eventually your equity. And you see, the real good producer, manager, is really starting to get that type of concept. You know what the third thing that you're going to have to be, and sorry guys, I'm back here, but you can kind of hear me, right? Okay? One of the things is, the third thing is you're going to have to be extremely innovative. And come on with me, Wilmer, Minnesota. Anybody ever been to Wilmer? Good. All right? 2.5 hours outside the Twin Cities. I'm there speaking at the Candy Center. Ever been to the Candy Center? Okay, you haven't been bowling. Okay. And I'm doing a seminar, and it was last year. Kiss of death for a speaker at lunch. You know what the kiss of death at lunch is for a speaker? They serve pasta. And boy, pasta will knock an audience out just like that. You know, pasta's great, but don't serve it at lunch. All of a sudden, the audience looked like Jaws coming at me. Yawn, you know, and a couple of them were sleeping. So I had them break off into tables like you were in here today. And I says, come up with 5 ways that you're going to be innovative. You know, it's interesting. I got a nugget from one of the tables. And you know what they basically said? And this is your peers talking to you. Okay? They basically said you got to have a 3-pronged risk management program. 1, to protect your revenues. Okay? In other words, that could be marketing, hedging, crop insurance, etc., etc. And don't get caught into the trap. Let's just go right across the lake and go to Guelph, Ontario. I was over there speaking, had a couple of young producers in, and they said, boy, we sold our corn. Next day, she went up 50 cents a bushel. Our granddad really let us have it. You know what I told them? Tell your granddad and your dad to get over it. Basically, if you aspire to hit the top, you're going to hit the valley. And boy, one of the things is, I asked them, did you make some money? Oh, yeah.